of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Good morning.
Friday morning.
Yeah,
Friday morning.
But we got an UGG. We gotta do an UGG. Every once in a while we come in here and you gotta do an UGG show.
Big story.
Huge story.
My post-birthday?
Yeah, your post-birthday celebration. Why don't I just play the news clip to get everything going here?
Oh, well.
Because it's so brand new. And then we'll go with it.
Yeah.
Breaking news of a deadly movie theater shooting near Denver, Colorado. Authorities say at least 14 people were killed during the showing of the new Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises. You're looking at live pictures there.
No, we're not.
Close to 40 others are being treated for injuries. Witnesses told investigators that the gunman kicked in one of the theater exits, threw a smoke bomb, and opened fire. Police have a suspect in custody.
And we have no evidence of any additional shooters. Police officers responded and found the gunman in the back of the theater, outside in the parking lot near a car, in possession of a gas mask and at least a rifle and a handgun. There's at least one additional weapon was found inside. The shooting apparently went on for some time. As of right now, we have approximately 50 who were hit, and we have 14 dead. 10 in the theater, and 4 died at area hospitals.
A horrible and terrifying situation there. The suspect made reference to possible explosives. As a result, an apartment building in North Aurora has been evacuated as police search for possible explosives.
And that's how we start today's show.
Damn, son.
Now we don't. They're saying. Someone said. Who said that they thought it looked like an Indian male? That's the only reason I'm thinking it could be terrorism, like a terrorist. For
just one of the news
this has,
channels.
Crazy white guy.
Yeah.
Crime written all over it. Might be though. Might be. This is an ideal opportunity for somebody if they wanted to make some type of statement. But this is crazy white guy crime.
It definitely is, and it's like, especially at that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But why? Who described him as an Indian guy?
Some reports that were coming in. You know,
just a suspect. I mean, a witness. So
okay.
I mean,
yeah.
Maybe that's nothing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this story's so brand new that just a lot of stuff is being thrown out there right now.
I just shot him in the face. Well, you know, probably would have cowered. Cowered under a seat.
Yeah, he had a lot of weapons.
Oh, he did.
14 dead. That number's going to be a lot higher because a lot of the people they're bringing to area hospitals are in critical condition. So,
yeah.
Midnight showing of Batman.
Damn. Yeah, I guess as the day goes on, they're going to get more details. But, oof, that's brutal.
It probably is some crazy white, some disgruntled.
Oh.
And what they'll do...
I'm sure they'll have a manifesto.
Yeah, oh yeah, and the news will talk about it instead of just talking about what a fucking little worm this guy is.
Right, piece of shit.
A real piece of garbage. They build these guys up to be like, wow, they contribute to making these guys legendary in a way, which makes other guys want to do it.
Yep. This is close to Columbine, too, they're pointing out.
Fucking Colorado, man. There's a lot of weird shit that happens in that.
How close to Columbine? Like
20 miles.
20 miles from Columbine.
They got like a fucking that thin air. I don't know.
Yeah, something going on.
Fuck that shit is.
Fucking breathe.
That's
just
crazy.
Breathe deeper or something.
Get some oxygen.
On TV, it's just there's still obviously those all cops outside the movie theater.
Yeah. Oh, it's brand new, man. I mean, it was a midnight showing, and it's 4:17 in Colorado or Aurora, Colorado.
What happened towards the end of the movie?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's a very fresh story.
Back, like he couldn't breathe. I was like, what the heck's going on? You know?
Heck.
James,
language.
Yeah, it's Peter Johnson. Were there police at the theater when you arrived there for the Batman showing? Did there seem to be a lot of security there? Did there seem to be anything special that was going on outside of a happy event of seeing a premiere of a new movie?
Yeah, there was an Aurora police officer, and also there was a heavy security presence there. There was like rented cops, but there was an Aurora police officer just coasting the parking lot, making sure people weren't hanging out in their cars like they normally would at an event like this. Yeah.
And describe it for us, as it began to unfold. We understand K-9 units were there, FBI on the scene, police from every possible area coming in to help.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it's like the law enforcement thought of the sky. Just 1 second I'm dealing with my friend, and then the next second I'm yelling, "We need help!" and I'm on the cell phone going crazy. And it seemed like a snap of a finger. There's police everywhere. So I mean, they
gunmen used at least 3 guns: 1 rifle, 1 handgun, 1 gun stashed in theater.
Probably maybe he threw the gun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 10 died in the movie theater, 4 on their way to the hospital so far.
This never bodes well for gun control.
Is that what you're worried about right now?
Well, no, but in the long run, it's one of those things where this is one of those opportunities that people use.
People use it to.
They use it and go, we got. I think a nut like this would have gotten his hands on what he wanted.
Your thought being,
regardless.
But your thought being, if there was other people in the theater with guns.
Hey, if somebody was at least, maybe nothing could have been done, no matter who had what. But maybe if somebody was close enough,
right?
Somebody thought about it,
right?
Saw him right there. Could have taken a fucking shot at him.
He had a bulletproof vest on.
Yeah.
So he was ready.
Yeah. Shoot him in the face.
Which shows you, though, again, this goes more towards, I don't know who this leans towards, because it does make you, he wanted to survive. He wasn't trying to wasn't trying to commit suicide.
Maybe he just wanted to get a little more longevity. Possible. So he can take people out more instead of surviving. But they did take him alive, so.
Why do they have to take him alive? That's what frustrates me.
Yeah, well, that's what the cops do. Could have just unloaded on him, right? Freeze, please.
Now we're gonna have to see the guy, and then it'll be glorified, and blah 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 blah. He began shooting before the movie started.
Covered with blood.
Yeah, they're showing a guy walking out with black
who I believe heard that press conference and is the up-to-the-minute details on this horrific tragedy in Aurora, Colorado that started late last night. Justin?
It really is a horrific tragedy, and you can see people showing up here at the shooting location, people that are just waking up to this news. What we know is going on at this moment is the chief of police tells us that they are currently searching the shooter's home. Apparently, when one of these officers took the shooter into custody, he made some statements. Number one, that he had the incendiary device in the car. As you said, they have recovered that. He also said that he had an incendiary device at his home here in Aurora, and we are told the police are searching his home right now. Just to update the latest. What we know, as you said, 14 people confirmed dead. We're told as many as 10 to 12 inside the theater, 50 people injured. You spoke with a witness a moment ago, and that's really the account that's coming out of there. People say this man stood up. He was apparently wearing some form of body armor or what looked like body armor. He turned around and was wearing a gas mask. And they say at that point, one witness described it as 2 bombs went off. We now know that was tear gas. When the tear gas went to this theater, there was sort of a mass panic. People started running, and this man simply started shooting. We are told many of those dead inside the theater are children and teenagers. I'm told by one witness that a baby was shot at almost point-blank range while his family was right next to him.
Jesus.
So these people that are showing up here at the shooting scene are just beginning to learn this. It is a tragedy that's unfolding here in Aurora, Colorado.
It's just awful. Justin, there are a couple of stories out there, and we don't know exactly how this started. Are you under the impression that the gunman was in the theater at the time the movie started, or, as one of the local Denver affiliates is reporting this morning, he kicked an emergency door down and came in that way?
I don't have that information. What I know in talking from police sources as well as witnesses is that the previews had played. It was around 12:30, and that's when this individual simply stood up, is what I was told, and turned around and faced the audience. So whether he made his way in through one of the emergency exits, I simply don't know that.
How do you get a mask in?
How do you get a rifle in?
Yeah.
Oh, no, the midnight showings, everyone dresses up, so it was perfect.
Do they really?
Yeah, man. They go all in.
What?
They get all festive.
Do you know that's maybe, if that's accurate, maybe that's why he fucking chose that showing, because he could go dressed up.
He probably, they keep saying a gas mask, but it probably looked kind of like the Bane character.
Right.
Kind of. Or at least people go, oh, he's dressed as Bane, even though it was a tear gas mask.
Fuck.
Yeah, man. These people, they dress all up for the midnight showings of these big movies.
How much, by the way, does MSNBC stink?
Oh,
they have
my
Morning
God.
Joe on right now.
Yeah,
and they're talking about Obamacare. It's like
of seniors who worry about them, and will they be taken care of?
This is really one of the
That's
biggest
why
problems.
they have
Mark's
no
talking about
fucking
American
viewers.
politics.
Yeah, me and Ant were,
MSNBC, no viewers.
that's why no one watches your shitty network.
Dummy.
me and Ant were talking just before you got here, Jimmy, and they started with the story, and they're like, okay, they're going with it, and then literally 3 minutes later, they're doing other news. I'm like, what, you just are out of touch.
No one's that's watching the news is watching that.
Yeah, everybody wants to know
Tennessee
this.
plates,
Yeah.
is that right?
That's what I'm hearing from police sources as well. We're hearing that both that he had Tennessee plates, that there was an incendiary device located in his car, but we are also told that he does have a residence here in Aurora.
Okay.
So that's where they're searching right now.
In terms of the gang unit responding, are you aware of any history in Aurora in terms of gang activity in that town? I'm given to understand also that there's been a curfew in the past for citizens.
Gang activity.
That's not
crazy.
That's
That ain't a
crazy
gang
white
thing.
guy.
Gang. This is crazy white guy
This is
or
crazy white
or
guy.
Muslim extremist.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
Gang activity. What are you talking about?
Gang.
These guys just hit every angle because they said that the police sent the gang police. I was like, all right, let's just go with
It's
that.
like
fair enough.
everyone showed up for this one. Believe me.
Yeah.
In Aurora, the Aurora PD, I think the fucking secretary showed up. Please.
Joseph, he's been doing a great job reporting out in Denver. We thank you very much for the live report from Aurora, Colorado.
And folks, if you're just waking up with us at 6:25 on this Friday morning, some terrible news to let you know about. In Aurora, Colorado, the chief of police telling us there at a news briefing that 10 people were killed on site of a movie theater at the opening of The Dark Knight Rises, and then 4 others were later reported dead in area hospitals. And this was a sold-out showing, across the country, a midnight showing. And you two, it seems that there is just a dark cloud hanging over these Batman movies. The last one that came out, Heath Ledger,
Oh,
my God.
and not only that, but then we're also thinking about the images from Columbine. I mean, there are just so many parallels here.
It certainly casts
no
a cloud, and we know it's so close to Columbine.
There's no
on the phone now is
parallels.
Jackie Montgomery, University of Colorado,
and he
Denver
blew by her. He blew by this
Hospital,
fucking
spokesman.
dumb
Good
broad.
morning, Ms. Montgomery.
They all just fail you in the
How
end.
many
The
folks
news,
have been brought to your hospital?
stupid
What
shit.
condition are
Heath
they
Ledger had a
in?
drug overdose.
And
Yeah, no
what
kidding.
does that have to do with
After the filming of the
family
movie.
members coming
Long
to the
after.
hospital to
There's
see
a
their
dark
loved ones,
cloud over the movie
and
Gone with
check
the
on
Wind
their
because I think a lot of people are
we
dead.
have 20 patients that were taken
That
care
starred in
of.
that movie. It's
Their
cursed.
injuries
Well, you
range
can. There's a
from
dark cloud over this
minor
radio
to
show.
severe
Jesus.
gunshot wounds.
If you want to go
The
with that
majority of our
shit.
adults, we have a handful of
Unbelievable.
teenagers. I don't know the exact number, but we're really focused on just providing them terrific care.
It's horrible. It's
awful.
The baby thing literally made me
That's
puke in my mouth.
that's pretty fucked up. That's
We
some
got,
ruthless shit.
Suspect found is this instant feedbacker. It says Ruben
Kincaid.
seems to be in custody per police scanner. Easy to find on Facebook. It's Ruben Gutierrez. Gutierrez, Gutierrez.
Is he a?
I'm just going with this because it's so.
Hispanic?
This could be completely wrong by this instant feedbacker, but what the hell? It's so fresh. We got to
He's listening to the
Police scanner.
Click on one of those. Who knows, right?
Yeah, you never know.
Click on one of those. You never know. Maybe
never
this guy's
know.
got some fucking.
Maybe that's why he was mistakenly identified as an Indian guy. Possibly, if he's Spanish, maybe it was a mistake.
That's in Spanish, huh? Yeah.
That's in Spanish.
Look up.
Well, anybody else have any info?
Where's he from? San Antonio. That ain't it.
San Antonio.
Why don't you look up his name and then
and put Aurora.
Aurora,
yeah,
right?
or Colorado.
Just put Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Colorado.
Look, this could be a dead end, obviously, but
15 people named. Oh, 60 people named. Spokio. Littleton, Colorado. My Life. Ruben Gutierrez.
They're saying he has a residence in Aurora.
Huh?
Sure. I mean, given our proximity to the local airport and, we're a major city that we've had airplane incidents and other things like that happen. So the team here is well prepared to handle anything like this.
dumb
Sure,
woman.
I know you train
Batman
for it, but at the
movies.
same time, when it happens, it's
embarrassing,
idiot.
right?
Right.
Who the fuck would say that on Fox News?
All right, Jackie
I'm not saying
Montgomery,
they're great,
University of
but I mean,
Colorado
you're a
Advanced
news
Hospital
source.
Center. We thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Can you imagine? I mean, you just go,
Oh,
you
now
go to
they
the
start
movies
with
to
their-
escape
This
reality.
is where it gets
there's
embarrassing.
no new info at the
You've
moment.
got somebody's cell phone
So let's
video
speculate that it was
of
us.
what was happening just outside the Century 16 movie theater just a couple hours ago, where you go in just to escape reality, and then some
We
guy
understand what a movie is, motherfucker.
Had there
You
not
get your
been security
popcorn,
at
you get
that
your
mall,
coat. Shut
can you
up.
just imagine?
You got your
Can you imagine? He had
popcorn,
so
you're
many guns.
escaping reality.
Every
But
person
you know
in
what,
that
dude?
theater
You're
could have
sitting
been
there.
And
Boom,
that just
then you
touched
hear
a few minutes
boom,
ago on the
and then
moment
boom,
of the
there's more
excitement of going
booms.
to this movie show, a midnight showing of the Batman
The Batman.
movie.
The Batman.
And
I
I
just
can
say
still
Batman.
imagine across Aurora and the area, the fear and the anxiety of parents wanting to know, are their children coming home tonight? We
Oh,
heard
really?
from James, the witness,
Thanks for
earlier
adding that. I didn't
about seeing
think
a
that
little
was a
girl
possibility.
shot and a mother cradling that little girl.
Oh, boy.
And something, obviously, that will stay with him forever
Yeah, emotional wounds for so many of those
throughout their
people.
lives. We're getting more and more details as time goes on now. We know that at
Well, at least they're covering this as
14
opposed
people-
to MSNBC,
This is what
who's
MS
doing the Emmys.
And I guess, Willie, the question is, what happens if Heilman wins a couple of games? Seriously?
Halpern has humility. I'm not worried
Has he
about
gone to Hollywood already?
Heilman,
Terrible fucking
Heilman
network.
went to Hollywood a long time.
Talking
And
about
they-
the Emmy
And they
nomination.
sit there every time the ratings come out.
If he has
They
an
have
Emmy
to
to
sit
put
there
on
and
his
think,
mantle.
why are we
Sunday
losing to
Parade
Fox
magazine.
every time?
Let the games
Why do we
begin.
get
Break
beat the
breaks
fuck
down
up? Now they're going to do an
23
Olympics break.
to watch
Nice.
the London Olympics.
Why do we get beat
Inside is
every
everything
time
from
by
the
Fox
oldest Olympians.
News?
Why is it we're doing more news than MSNBC?
Yeah.
A guy who's 71 years old.
Holy
Theater.
shit.
This movie theater you're
Unfucking
seeing on your screen right now.
I
A
can't
brand
see
new
it.
movie theater, we should mention,
I'm
by
on
the
the
way.
radio. I can't see
Packed
this.
with people to see the
Oh, it's
Batman
packed?
premiere
Uh-huh.
of that movie.
The Batman.
Open fire in one of the theaters,
What?
killing at least 14 people at this hour. 50 people have been taken to area hospitals. Fortunately, there are about 4 excellent hospitals in that area where victims have been brought in. The injuries at this hour range from more modest injuries to more severe injuries. The gunman apparently had a long arm rifle and also 2 handguns. We are hearing at this hour that one of the handguns may have been stashed in that theater at an earlier time. We are also hearing from witnesses at the scene that the suspect threw some kind of a canister into that theater. Witnesses then say they report hearing some sort of a hissing sound and then appeared to see some sort of a smoke.
Rolling.
So some believe that this might have been some sort of a tear gas. And that is when the man opened fire.
Well, if
He
it
shot
was gas in
between
the
10
theater,
to 20
he might be
rounds
maybe
from
a
this
theater
long arm and
employee.
also from 2 pistols. We are hearing then that the gunman ran out of the theater into the parking lot, and that is where his car was parked. We should mention at this hour that police have taken down this guy. 1 suspect is in police custody. No other suspects at this time, but that is certainly something that police will continue to investigate. Police are searching his car. We are hearing that it is a white vehicle. And apparently there's some sort of explosives that have been found in that car. What kind of explosives? We do not know that at this hour. Now, that suspect also talking with police officials and indicating to them that he has some sort of explosive device in his apartment in Aurora, Colorado. I think those are the pictures that we are seeing right now at this time. Actually, that appears to be the picture of his vehicle that I just mentioned, a white vehicle.
You can't
we are
see it,
hearing
though,
some
because the
reports
fucking
that that
Fox
white vehicle
Chiron is
may
in
have
front of it.
Tennessee
Oh,
license
God,
plates.
what are they
If
doing?
anyone out there has any information on who the suspect might be, you are asked to please call
there it is,
police
okay.
in Aurora, Colorado with information at that. Back to his apartment. Police officials are searching this guy's apartment for any possible explosive device there. We understand that that apartment complex has been evacuated at this hour, so that neighbors there are considered safe.
Crazy.
Here's what we know about the suspect. A young adult man in his 20s. No word yet as to this person's motive. Again, the Tennessee license plates, that is not confirmed at this time. We are hearing, though, from a lot of witnesses. Keep in mind that this theater was a packed theater. So many young people out on summer break wanting to go see this Batman movie.
Yeah,
tremendously popular. We're told that this movie was, in fact, sold out.
Of course
the movie theater was packed. We are hearing from one person, Benjamin Fernandez. You can see some of the pictures from that movie theater right there. Benjamin Fernandez says that he was watching the movie and then he heard a series of explosions. He said that people ran from the theater and there were gunshots then. Police shouting, "Get down, get down." This witness says he saw people falling, including one young girl. We also understand that some of the victims were adults, some of the victims were teenagers, and there is one report that one of the victims may be just a 1-year-old baby. Well, police have set up a command post near Dillard's department store. They are interviewing hundreds of possible witnesses at this hour. Some of those witnesses were taken by buses to Gateway Gateway High School. They're being questioned there. A police spokeswoman says that that scene is still very active. Again, if you're just joining at this hour, 14 victims are dead, many of them children. Many of them teenagers,
Somebody on Twitter is saying they're saying the movie had just started. So maybe it just began.
Yeah, we got that out there, right?
I didn't know if it was what part of the movie was it.
40
Yeah,
minutes
no,
in.
it just started.
40?
Or early on in the movie.
Do you it's like...
She did a really good job, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. Summed it up, right?
She was
MSNBC, MSNBC is getting their commercials in.
Out of Aurora,
Oh, there they go.
Colorado, a suburb of Denver, about 10 miles east of Denver. Police now say 15 people are dead. The last time we talked, the death toll was 14. That has now ticked up to 15 dead, at least 50 more wounded in a shooting at a movie theater. According to the Denver Post, the man is 24 years old. The suspect is in custody. The incident happened local time at a mall in Aurora, about, as I said, 10 miles east of the city. KUSA, our NBC station there in Denver, reports dozens of people have been transported to a nearby hospital. Reports say the shooting happened during a late showing of the new Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises. According to witnesses there, the shooter, wearing all black, kicked in the emergency exit door in Theater 9, walked to the front of the theater, stood in front of the screen, threw some kind of a smoke-producing bomb, and then began shooting at random. Witnesses say he was wearing a gas mask. Police say he was carrying a rifle, a knife, and a gun. His apartment now is being evacuated and searched by police for explosive devices based on some information.
You know what? I'll bet this guy planned on doing other shit that night.
Police say
that's why you have an explosive device?
Arrested without incident. He did not resist. He did not put up a fight. In fact, the police chief in Aurora, Dan Oates, calling this a, quote, horrific event, I should say. No evidence, though, of other shooters so far.
Just shoot him in the fucking head.
Yeah.
People are like, how do you feel about the death penalty? What do you think? All in for the death penalty.
Or at least cut one of his hands off.
Yeah.
Just cut it. Like, there is something to be said for Saudi Arabia doing that.
Their reasoning's a little crazy, but the thought isn't bad.
Yeah. But now this you're right. This scumbag, his thoughts and opinions will be out there.
Hear
and then
all
he
of
gets
his
to
fucking ideology.
Then he gets to go to jail and be protected, blah, 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 because he's a high profile, blah, blah, blah.
But his car, if there was a bomb in his car, and he had stuff at home still, and a bulletproof vest, he was probably planning on running out of this theater and going somewhere, either getting away or going somewhere else and finishing the job around the other side of the...
Maybe.
He might have been planning on going out to the front of the theater as they ran out and doing something.
Or maybe he figured he had enough bombs to take into the theater, too.
But he didn't blow it up. That's why it's weird. Like, why would you leave your bomb in the car?
No, he let tear gas off in the theater, though.
It's also odd that he was taken without any incident. Usually these guys, when it's crazy white guy, they either go out in a blaze.
They keep going,
or
right?
They shoot themselves or something, you know?
I'm sorry, Sam just put up, witness said that the shooting started at the start of the shooting scene in the new Batman. When was the shooting scene? Do you guys remember?
Oh, yeah. It's in...
I don't remember when that happened.
At the beginning of the movie where it's
the beginning of the movie, they got like... Yeah, well, that's the airplane scene.
Yeah, but that's...
So this guy, okay... If that's true, either he was just waiting, but if this guy had if that's true, and he was able to play, like he knew that when that was happening, he had probably seen the movie already, which means he was probably a theater employee who saw a screening.
I think it's a coincidence.
Maybe.
I think he just decided, okay, it's go time.
Yeah.
You let everyone settle in and get into the movie, and then it's go time. I think. I don't know. You might be right, too.
Craziness.
and he was in like she said, a riot helmet. She said had a bulletproof vest on. She said that he was completely covered in all black with goggles. And she said that after that point, when she saw that he was holding a shotgun, her and her boyfriend dropped to the floor and just kind of started to crawl to see if they could get away. When she turned around, all she saw was the guy slowly making his way up the stairs and just firing.
First calls to police came out of that movie theater at 12:39 local time, almost exactly 4 hours ago. Police say they were on the scene within 1 or 2 minutes. Again, the police chief there describing it as a, quote, horrific event, a scene one officer described as police officers dragging bodies out of that movie theater. Again, the update right now, 15 people dead.
I think you might be right, Jimmy. I don't think he expected the cops to be on the scene within, 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess there were police in the area because it was such a,
He must have seen them as he was pulling up. I mean,
huh?
No, maybe he was parked in the back. If he kicked in that theater door exit, he was. And another odd thing to notice, his car. Maybe you don't think of this, but his car was parked like he pulled his car into a spot. So maybe he wasn't. Because if you're going to plan on just taking off, wouldn't you back your car into a spot? I mean, maybe that's just a in that moment you're not thinking, but
right.
That just struck me as odd that his car is parked where you'd have to back it up to leave.
Yeah. He was well prepared, that's for sure.
And now they're saying MSNBC has been covering it all morning. No. And again,
we've been here.
They're all commercials.
I mean, we've been on since 6 o'clock. They have done 5 minutes up front and another 5. So they've done 10 minutes out of 40.
Yeah.
Get those commercials in.
You guys had a lot of trouble breathing.
Yeah, because I don't think Fox has gone to commercial
No,
yet.
they haven't. They're a cable network, so they're
because
doing
the
what
air
they should do.
conditioning and the circulation was on. It was in your...
If any of you or your guys need anything, let me know, and I'll find you a relief for...
Police scanner?
Water.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this is Aurora.
214 Adam to Lincoln 25. I'm assuming that's still one. Center point.
What?
What was that?
Yes, we still want center tech blocked.
What?
And one of the officers that just got relieved from Abilene, who wants to take the field that Lincoln 25 was talking about to the east of the theater?
Well, they're just distributing resources.
All right, thank you. I think that can be covered from Sable.
No, this isn't my ringtone.
25, I got a bunch of cars with lights on down there, and Sergeant White's going down now to check to see if there's any officers down there with those vehicles, just east of the theater on Sable.
I want to hear people that are at the apartment.
Somebody's going to check those cars with their lights on just east of the theater on Sable.
Yeah, they're a little
Just
skittish.
those cars coming down there to check it. Don't come any closer than those cars. The squad is still out here working the car.
Oh, they're still working on his car.
Oh, really?
They don't come any closer to the theater than those cars because bomb squad's still working the car.
Jesus.
Wow.
That's some crazy shit going on. 2:30. Yeah.
Come on. This is raw, obviously. We're just taking a chance here.
217. Be advised, Chick-fil-A is going to open up their doors for off.
Chick-fil-A is going to open up their doors for the officers. Breaking
Hungry?
news.
They're
Breaking
hungry?
news.
They're hungry?
Breaking news.
Oh, they're feeding the cops, though. At least that's...
Chick-fil-A.
Affirm, Chick-fil-A is going to be opening up their doors for the officers if they need to go in there and get something to eat or go to the bathroom.
Breaking news. Only on the Opie and Anthony show.
Right.
Chick-fil-A opening their doors for police officers to piss and eat.
And that's all Chick-fil-A's in the entire country.
Yes. Every single one of them. So officers, feel free.
Yeah. You know how many cops are listening to this right now, walking into Chick-fil-A's, and they're going, no, what are you talking about?
By the way, Chick-fil-A always involved in these tragedies. It seems amazing.
Yeah,
they're not.
That awful woman.
One of my guys had a car that was full of blood already, and it's no longer on scene with you guys.
What?
Let me find detectives here. See what we're going to do there. I don't want any of those cars to look like that. before we double check with them, but I think they were just taking photos, and then they could be cleaned out. Okay.
I guess they want.
Should see if I can break in here. See if I already cleared our cars up here today.
Crime scene, you know.
All 3 of our cars need to be checked out.
They got to get all that information.
Okay.
If there's bloody vehicles now.
Lincoln 25, if you eventually get a count of how many we're talking about, I'll try to get that info to those people and get those things taken care of quick.
225, we're out with a Arapahoe County Sheriff's cruiser at Abilene and Alameda, and we can't find the owner. Can you try to air and have him come get his car? Sure. And they've been photographed. Hold on.
Raw feed coming from Aurora.
Littleton officers, he's no longer on here. That was the last person that had eyes on him that I know of was those Littleton officers you're with.
Today begins Ramadan, by the way.
A mutual aid command post. Nicoletti's office is setting up there. Again, Nicoletti's office will be at the fire department mutual aid command post.
I'm just speculating.
Lincoln 25 to those guys that have our Brookbacher. As long as the cars are documented that they were used to transport, we've taken pictures of the car and the back seat. Those cars can be decontaminated.
The police car's probably right.
27 is clear. Anybody that has a car that needs that, I'll get crime scene cleaners to today's scene. Hey, Sarge, we got a bunch at the hospital, too. We got 3 at the hospital we can't leave right now that are full of blood.
Jesus.
Cars.
Hey, Matt, could we maybe have crime scene cleaners go to the hospitals after those cars have been documented?
Wow.
Yeah, I think we can accommodate that. Let me make a phone call and see what I can get done. Let me just talk to the 4 real quick, too.
Yeah, you don't realize they got to, make sure they know who was transported in what car, where they came from, where they were.
Dispatch to 628.
628.
Can I have you guys please on a domestic at Lexington Park Apartments?
That guy's like, fuck, I gotta go to a domestic.
That guy deals with some drunk wife.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Let me tell you something. This bitch has been fucking giving me shit the whole. Do you understand something?
All right.
We're very busy. Domestic.
Jeez.
Some guy in a wife beater fucking, hey,
right.
This bitch.
Do you know how cranky that cop is going to be when he gets there?
Of course.
What is MSNB talking
How did
about?
that make you feel?
I didn't like it. I felt I went back and looked what Tom Brokaw said when they used him in an ad, and Tom was the entirety of a 30-second
campaign ads.
My understanding is this
dope.
The theater.
Because, I mean, if you're a viewer right now and you know this is happening, you're changing the channel.
Right, immediately.
And finding whatever you can. That's how human nature works. What idiots.
They
Dude,
are stupid.
What idiots.
We, on the Opie and Anthony show, we're playing live audio from the fucking police scanner feed in Aurora, Colorado. MSNBC is talking about political ads.
Yeah, this is their job,
What
not ours.
shitheads.
It's unfortunate, and I wish it hadn't.
Let's go stay with the New York Times on your must-reads. Paul Krugman.
Yes, that's what I've chosen. I think it's a good one. Like everyone else following the news, I've been awestruck, he writes. By the way, questions about Mr. Romney's career at Bain.
Bain. They can't get enough of fucking Romney and Bain Capital.
Trust me, the Bain thing isn't going away. You could pick up on that on Monday.
I think it's going to take a back seat.
Are you kidding
today.
me? I have been keeping track. They have done less than 10 minutes on this whole thing. Fox has not gone to a commercial, and I'm not saying I'm a Fox guy. I'm just pointing out the obvious.
You don't need to go to commercial.
Right. They have not gone to commercial, and they have not done another story.
Do they comb through tips that they may have gotten? Do they comb through information to look for clues as to whether there may have been some indication about this person in the past in order to put together other
Bain
people
Capital.
that may be part of a web or a conspiracy?
All of the above you just mentioned, yes, they are doing all of those things. Here's the thing, again, there had to be warning signs with this guy. Someone, and we'll find this out later on today as this case progresses, someone knows about this guy, whether or not he has family members, whether or not he had a girlfriend,
who knows? But somebody had to
no
have
one thinks
known
he's a man from
this
Mars,
guy was
idiots.
planning this type of an attack, and maybe he has a criminal history. We do not know that quite yet. Again, this is so fluid right
what are you
now.
saying,
But
then?
we're
You're
going to
just
find
making-
all of
he's
these
just saying
answers out
words.
hopefully
Right.
sometime today. But let me just mention this one other
This
thing.
man
When
may
guy
be an
started
airline
shooting,
pilot, and he
one
may
question that
enjoy
a lot of
Yankees
people may
baseball.
have is,
Yeah, well,
what
you
could
can
the
fucking
people
say
in the
maybe to
theater have
anything.
done?
Yeah.
In a situation like this that we just see, what you have to do is scatter. You don't want to gather as a group. And I think that's why that guy set that bomb off, because he wanted people to be huddled up as a group, heading for the door, because it made it easier for him to take out his target. So in a shooting situation like this is some good information, guys. You always want to scatter. Get away from everybody and just
Can I
scatter.
point out,
and then when you get
you're
to
in a
safe
movie
location,
theater where
that's when you call
smoke canisters are set off.
Thank you. And,
There's
know,
not
Aurora,
500
right outside of
exits.
Denver, you know the area very well yourself.
There's
About
two.
325,000
One the shooter's next to,
living
and
in
the
that
other
area,
one.
we're told. And also reports coming in that a gang unit came on the scene, canines, the FBI.
Yeah, everybody.
Maybe it was a dog
police
then.
From
Everyone
every
showed up.
possible
Yes.
area.
Yeah, you got to
Every
imagine
cop.
everyone's going to show up.
Everyone showed up.
They also, I'm sure,
Except for the
traffic
poor
cops.
guy that has to do the domestic.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for that poor guy.
Domestic violence call.
Yeah.
She is not shut up about taking the garbage out.
Sir, you don't understand. There's been a shooting. I can't do this.
I didn't shoot her. What
She
are you
shot
talking
her
about?
mouth off.
Yes.
You think he's distracted? He's like, oh, God, I want to get back to the scene.
yeah.
Because I imagine if you're a police officer, this is the type of thing you want to be involved with.
And he's just fucking.
And he's like,
she just won't shut the fuck up. Sir, can I ask you to sit down?
Sit down.
He's got a
Fuck
fucking
it.
beer in his hand.
Right.
That guy.
That guy.
This cop's like, oh, really? I got to leave this scene?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Well, it's fucking horrible, man.
Terrible.
We just seem to have one of these every
so often.
Every other
this-
year, it
this
seems like.
happens. It's, basic human nature.
Yep.
I reckon.
But just like, what a selfish cunt this guy is. Knowing that, besides the people he's killing, just the amount of people he wants to be tied in with this movie.
Yes.
He wants to be tied in negatively with it.
Yeah.
Piece of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Engine 3, I forgot to ask, did you want them emergent or routine?
Huh?
Routine, sir. Copy, thanks.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Then what happened?
What happened?
What happened? I always wonder what's happening when they...
13, I have a witness over here at Crystal and Alameda that was told to come be interviewed by Fox News. Are we letting them in?
Hey, Jake, one more time.
I have someone here that was told by Fox News to come in and be interviewed. Are we letting them back in or no?
Absolutely not. Nobody. Once they've left, no, we don't need anybody else in here.
Fox News is all pissed off now.
Yeah, they're screwed.
They lost
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Hey, CSO dispatch, 1 Baker 34. Baker 34. Can you see if we can have everyone meet over on the east side of Dillard's? We have a vehicle maintenance. 2 Battalion 1 with engine 3 on a standby. Medford 4 David 2, East 17th Avenue, North Oswego Street. Truck 2 Battalion 1 on a standby with APD. Medford 4 David 2, 17th and Oswego. Respond on Tech 2.
I need TAC 2.
So enraging.
I need to go to TAC 2.
It really is, huh?
Yeah, you can go ahead and give them my cell.
Don't give out your number.
Sir, is there somewhere I would find that number?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you should have it up at dispatch at Sheet 3 or Martinelli.
Yeah.
They would never give it out on a police scanner, right?
Oh.
They got to be aware people are
monitoring the situation.
Of course.
We're monitoring the situation.
Negia.
Yeah, this is
I've got 622, 624, 625.
I'm bashing MSNBC on Twitter, and somebody goes, should they spend hours on this story?
Yeah.
Yes!
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what they're there for.
It's unfolding right now. That's why you have a 24-hour news channel, you dunce.
Yeah, kind of. You do. You spend the next few hours on it.
It's not like it's either this or another shooting or a
Right.
presidential assassination.
Right. Yeah.
It's
They're-
this or fucking the Emmy nominations.
Right. They're not. They're just not prepared. When we get home today, this is going to be all you're going to see all
They're
day
just not prepared.
long.
That's exactly it.
And yes, they should.
Yes, they should.
If you know anything about building an audience, you realize people are going to search out this news on their own. Because all that other stuff could wait. I don't give a fuck who's nominated for an Emmy right now. Who
It's
gives a
such.
fuck?
And how is Morning Joe as a host not going? Forget it. This is terrible.
Yeah.
I know there's not much new info, but how do you concentrate on the Emmys?
Right.
A guy fighting with his girlfriend.
Still? They went back to that? I wasn't listening.
Yeah, apparently. Jesus Christ.
Lincoln 25 into my supervisor at the high school. Engine 3, go. Cruiser 70 at Gateway, go ahead. Yeah, what location you want us to come in? Jamie Brower with Nicoletti's on her way up there. Will you coordinate with her? We're still trying to get this hashed out, but if you want to put the truck in,
This is just logistics.
Yeah.
But
it's still interesting, though.
Lanyards and things like that there at the Century 16 multiplex. What kind of security was in place before the movie started? Did you see police officers there?
Before I went into the theater?
Yeah.
No, I actually didn't see a lot. I was actually surprised because of the amount of people that were going to be there, and I thought they would have had more enforcement.
Why?
Right. And we understand that the movie was showing at 3 different screens there in Aurora. Were they all filled to capacity?
Yes, I believe the first 2 were sold out, and I couldn't get a ticket to the first 2, and then I had to settle for the third one. That was the only one that was still selling tickets.
Well, you know what? You're lucky you weren't in that earlier theater.
Yeah.
I think he knows
A lot of excitement around.
It just frustrates me, the basic shit. Like, as a news guy, you don't know that the Batman movie and the midnight showings are all sold out across America.
Yeah.
Supposedly it's sold out for the entire weekend. Of course all the theaters were packed.
And then somebody writes, MSNBC should be politicizing this tragedy like real Americans. Are you guys out there, like, are people who like MSNBC's politics this fucking delusional? They're doing a lousy job.
Terrible.
Now they're covering it. They keep going in, but they're getting their fucking commercials in, and then the host and his co-host are talking about Emmy nomination and political ads.
Emmy nominations and Romney fucking Bain Capital.
They're covering the garbage they planned on covering.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
a live news network, and they're not going with the live news.
Right, we had a whole show planned, and we threw it all out the fucking window right now.
We on this show,
And we're supposedly just a dumb shock jock show.
yes, and yes, we are.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I like to think we're way better than most of these fucking idiots.
No, we're dumb
at this
but
point.
We're having fun.
No, we like to go dumb.
Yeah,
but we do
Monday
have
through Friday.
intelligence.
We do it.
This is Denver. But I don't think.
No.
Detail 3 has been released.
I'm not sure what they'll have on it.
We can be in all around and hold it at the unit for the remainder. Head in 456.
Yeah. Hello?
Nothing.
No, I don't think so.
Consonant phase 2, so hang up 2900 block of Arkins Core Ed for information at 456.
What's that English guy doing?
I don't know. What
else he doing there?
I don't know. I don't like that.
They sent in the bobbies? Hello?
That's what you want.
Yeah, I don't think
no.
Denver's going to have anything.
All right.
There's nothing going on in
Just
Denver.
horrible.
No.
Yeah, it's really depressing.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And if you are there in the theater with your gun, do you shoot?
Yes. I say yeah. It all depends. You know, it's one of those situations you can never say what you would do in that situation. It's a fucking like battle situation.
Wouldn't you try to get your ass out of there like anyone else?
Maybe. I think if you got somebody that's well trained.
But you would assess the situation like, wait, maybe if I get behind this pillar, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But your first thought is to save yourself. That's what everyone would think.
Any reasonable guy with a gun, the first thing you think of is this the right thing to do? Is this a stunt? You know, you don't want to shoot someone that's pulling a stunt for the movie kind of a thing. So, you know, to just instantly start firing in a crowded theater, you know, you get yourself fucked that way. But then, and then how do you know, even though people are screaming, it might be a prank, It might, it's one of those situations where
it might be Howie Mandel doing, a scene for Mobbed or something.
Right, something like that.
Some over-the-top prank. You're right.
Yeah, but if you're...
So you got to wait it out a little bit and then go, holy fuck, this is real.
But if you're close to the situation and you see somebody fall and bleeding, and now you know that this is happening and it's a real thing going down, then, yeah, you fucking would have to...
But your brain says, get the fuck out of this theater first.
Yeah.
It really does, unfortunately.
That would be your instinct.
But then if you're thinking, wait a minute, I could, he's distracted right now. I think I could take a shot. Then you take a shot.
If you're a cop, you probably take a shot because you understand immediately what's happening, like an off-duty cop.
Yeah.
But for a regular guy, it's like
you're gonna have to wait.
Tough. Yeah, it's a tough call.
You're gonna have to wait at first.
Yeah. Well, yeah, cover and then fucking return fire.
What was footage of the old man recently? There was an old guy, there was a robbery, and he was with his wife, and he fucking had a gun, and he ran after the guy and popped and fucking
chased him out. The footage is unbelievable. He's sitting in a chair at the back of this internet cafe. Two guys come in with masks on. One guy's got a gun, one guy's got a baseball bat. They start rousting the crowd. This old guy just stands up, pulls his gun out, and starts shooting at these motherfuckers who absolutely were not expecting this. Because they were tripping over each other to get out the door, and the old guy's just plugging them.
Man.
Did he actually shoot them?
Yeah, he got both of them. He didn't kill them. They wound up in the hospital, and then they got arrested. But yeah, were they shocked. Were they shocked.
Denver University Hospital is reporting that they are treating 3 people for chemical exposure, but that could just be the tear gas.
They were probably close to the tear gas.
Yeah.
Investigating in the hospitals and finding out why this took place and whether there is anyone involved in bringing this together.
That's right. We're going to have some more experts coming on to tell us what they think went on. If you've got a question, email us, friends@foxnews.com.
Now, top stories, MSNBC. Defense Department service members made march in uniform at Gay
NBC
Pride.
News chief White House correspondent
Top of the hour,
Chuck
I'm sure they're
Todd
gonna
and former director of the White House Domestic Policy Council and CEO of Melanie Barnes Solutions, Melody Barnes. Good to have you all on board this hour. We want to go straight to Willie Geist, though, for an update on the terrible situation out of Aurora, Colorado. Willie.
Yeah, and NBC's Pete Williams confirming the suspected shooter in today's massacre in Aurora, Colorado is a 24-year-old man, a white male, police say. 15 people are dead right now.
They say white.
50 more wounded.
They got to say white male.
They do, but I want a suspect description, so fair enough.
Outside Denver. The suspect is in custody right now.
If he was Middle Eastern, they'd probably say it here, though.
Yeah. Theater. It was the opening night of this Dark Knight Rises movie. People were in costume, so he didn't stand out. He was wearing black and he wore a gas mask, but then walked to the front of the theater, apparently dropped some kind of canister, police say. Some kind of smoke began to rise, and then he just began opening fire indiscriminately, killing now at least 15 people. The police chief there in Aurora calls it a horrific scene. Images of police dragging people and perhaps bodies out of the movie theater.
And somebody says now we'll have to go through security to go to a movie theater. I almost hope he kicked the door in
local time,
just for that reason. Like, so everyone in the whole country doesn't have to
20
fucking
minutes
shift
into
gears.
the movie, this guy walked in and began opening fire. That suspect is in custody. 24-year-old white male. He was carrying a couple of weapons, a knife.
But it is funny how they now, maybe it's fair
inside, so they shut down and locked down that movie theater as they checked. They're quick to point out they haven't found that yet. Jim Miklashevsky at the Pentagon reporting defense officials say they have no indication as of now the shooter.
It is, much more than a fucking
military.
Man, I'm going to fucking make a
as they said, happened just
he's
after
a comic book guy, the Dark Knight. He thinks he's the Dark Knight. I'm the Dark Knight. Ugh, selfish cunt.
Goddamn fucking prick.
Just a selfish little nothing.
Yeah.
24-year-old, probably good at nothing, probably got dumped. Just a fucking bag of shit who would never have amounted to anything, who wants to get famous.
And now he's going to be very, very famous.
And he wanted to live, man. I'm telling you. You had the bulletproof vest, and he still had a fucking bomb in the car, which means he was probably going around the fucking front to do something else.
And they will pick apart everything this guy has done. Music he's listened to, television, video games he's played. Everything is going to be, well, look at what caused this. And meanwhile, what caused it is this guy's a fucking prick. Just a dick.
Let's see what CNN's doing.
As we understand it, the vehicle was found with some sort of explosive device in it. Now, it could be a gas canister or something of the sort. At this point, we are just not sure. There is a picture of his vehicle right there. Now, here is what we are hearing from witnesses, that this gunman entered the movie theater. The movie started about midnight, but just after 12:30, apparently this gunman stood up in the front of the movie theater, set off some sort of gas canister, that's what witnesses are telling us, and then grabbed a rifle and and 2 handguns and started shooting at random. We are hearing that somewhere between 10 and 20 shots went out across that movie theater. There was mass chaos in that movie theater. The gunman then ran out to the back of the theater, to the parking lot, and that is where his car was parked. Now think about it. The folks who are going to a movie at 12:30, 12 o'clock midnight,
door, or was
those are going to be a
in
lot
the
of
theater?
teenagers. And there are parents waking up this morning whose teenagers may not have returned home. There are as many as 50 people in the hospital this morning. Some are being treated with more moderate injuries, but some are considered to be severe at this point. 14 people dead at this hour.
They can't get
Well,
this
we are
straight?
hearing from one witness. He's a 30-year-old Benjamin Fernandez, and he says that he was watching the movie, and that's when he heard a series of explosions. He said that people ran from that theater. There were gunshots. Police then shouting, "Get down, get down." This witness says that he saw people falling, including one young girl, and we are hearing that a child as young as 1, possibly 2 years old, may have been shot at point-blank range. The police setting up a command post near the Dillard's department store, which is nearby. They're now interviewing hundreds of possible witnesses. Some of those witnesses were taken by buses to Gateway High School for additional questioning. The police spokeswoman says the scene is still, quote, very active. Again, we are hearing at least 14 people dead at this hour, many of them children and teenagers. Another 50 have been injured, many of them in critical condition in nearby hospitals. Police are asking for anyone with any information about this shooting to please call 303-627-3100. And guys, it's also important to point out, that this movie was sold out. And so, fortunately, there were police at the scene when all of this went down. And that is because they were there primarily for crowd control. So thank goodness that those law enforcement officials were there, because this could have been much worse. As terrible as it sounds, it could have been much worse. So let's keep that in perspective, and we'll keep coming to you with more information as we get it, guys.
All right, Heather.
They didn't go in and get him, did they?
Thanks, Heather.
Did they get him
Joining
outside?
us now is Jamie Marshall. She was in the theater adjacent to where the shooting occurred. Good morning, Jamie.
Morning.
Jamie, what did you see in this terrible event?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What did you see last night in this terrible event?
Well, we were watching the movie, and it was about 20 minutes in, I'd say, and it was in the middle of a shooting scene. And in our theater, we heard all of a sudden this sounds like as if someone set off firecrackers. And we all start looking around, and people in the section closest to this wall where we heard it from kind of all looked around, and then it happened again, and a bunch of them jumped off and started running, getting out of the theater. They seemed really confused, and so we didn't know what was going on. We thought someone was just pranking us in the movie. So we started looking around. We didn't know what to do. There was panic, and then one guy ran through to the theater, the personal theater's exit, their emergency exit. He said, "Don't go out through the lobby. Someone's shooting." So we didn't know what to do. We didn't know if people were just trying to cause a panic or what. So we started people started running up the stairs because there was an exit to a balcony area upstairs. And we went up the left side of the theater where we heard the sound, and we looked at the wall, and it seemed as if bullet holes had come through from the other theater.
Wow.
And then we heard a big boom, so we started running and got up the stairs, and police started bringing people down the stairs from that balcony and running them out to the lobby. And we saw a kid run out the door that was shot, and then a girl outside who had been shot in the leg, and people covered in blood.
Jeez. Well, Jamie, you did what you're supposed to do. We spoke earlier with Rod Wheeler, a homicide investigator, and he said that's exactly what you're supposed to do is scatter and go as
obviously, you dummy, but there's no room to scatter in a theater. Right. This didn't happen at a football field, and they all curled up on the fucking 10-yard line. It's a fucking movie theater.
Jesus. Real Phil Hendry on Twitter, radio guy. Yeah. One of the few radio guys I really like. He's tweeting some good stuff right now. He writes, guys, a 24-year-old all-black costume bulletproof vest. I'll bet his motive will be revenge against a puny world not worthy of his genius.
Uh-huh. That's what it is.
And then some asshole had to do their Baba Booey today. That's coming in. That's wonderful. Good for you. Good. I'm sure Howard will be very proud.
What year is this?
Enjoy your fucking whatever. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, he's going to be famous. We're going to know. He's unknown right now, But this guy is going to be the most known fucking guy in the country in a matter of hours. Everyone will know this guy's name. Everyone will know his dumb fucking opinions, ideology, beliefs, and how fucking amazing and misunderstood he was, and all this horse shit. Oh, God.
On Twitter, another guy says, although this is a tabloid story, okay, I agree, they are a terrible network, meaning MSNBC, just like Fox News and CNN, they all suck. It is amazing how fast MSNBC fans are politicizing what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not... Who cares about Fox's political slant the way they're covering a live news story?
Yeah. Why can't you be honest with yourself? If you like MSNBC, good for you, but they're failing right now. We got all three on, the main three cable news networks, and MSNBC is talking about
Syria unrest.
Yeah, which we could deal with tomorrow or Sunday. This is a massive story that's breaking now. Fox hasn't gone to a commercial yet, and CNN hasn't gone to a commercial.
So
they're failing as a news network.
These fucking babies that like MSNBC, all they can do, and Fox is covering it. Look, it just happened.
Right. Yeah.
News is coming out, and it's not a tabloid story.
No,
this is not fucking Brangelina. What the fuck? It's a shooting. It's a legit story.
It's one of the main problems we have in this country. Everyone has to put their stupid political blinders on all the fucking time. Sometimes you just got to be honest and realize, look.
Expansion and a proliferation.
Those are the chemical weapons that Saddam Hussein
Syria's a
moved
big
over the
story.
Syrian
I mean, I
border.
understand. Of course.
The United States went in, right?
And
it's like we conservatives were saying for at least 6 months.
This is why they
Syria. And so we're going to...
She must have been struck or grazed or something because she seemed to be...
Fox, then you got CNN.
There goes Piers. Horrendous details from the Colorado cinema shooting. America has to do something about its gun laws. Now is the time. Do you honestly think that Piers Morgan...
So that's what the first
Do you honestly think gun laws have anything to do with this?
With him,
honestly,
or maybe he's a member of the group that somebody else will go out and start the same type of thing somewhere else. So that's number one. Secondly,
there's plenty of gun laws in place. Unfortunately, there are people that don't pay attention to laws. You know there's laws against bank robbery?
Oh, really?
You know there's laws against it, but people somehow still do it.
Yeah, that's just dumbing down a very difficult and complicated
it's not gonna work.
topic.
Don't worry about it.
Interviews his neighbors, friends, colleagues, associates. So there's a massive amount of...
That'll make Kooks go, oh, okay.
You know, there's gun laws all over in fucking Chicago, and people are shot on a daily fucking hourly basis in Chicago. It's
initially we'll be looking at the domestic terrorism issue.
There had been some reports, in fact, that the vehicle, when we saw pictures of a white car that we believed to have been the car of the shooter, because the doors were open, the trunk was up, it was being searched, that the vehicle had plates from Tennessee. So crossing state lines clearly would be another issue that would involve the FBI.
FBI.
Well, certainly. They'll be looking into where he lived in Tennessee or who, various neighbors or family members that may be still in another state such as Tennessee. So that's one issue. The issue of bomb squad capability will be another issue to examine that vehicle.
You do got to kind of find some comedy just because it's just horrific. This guy, E. John X, writes, I bet Fred Willard is a little relieved this morning.
Oh, man, right?
These fucking news shows were going to be all about Fred Willard getting caught allegedly jacking off in an adult movie theater.
Man, did he fucking skate. Holy shit, you're right. Fred Willard was jacking off in a fucking porno theater, which would have been all over the news today.
Or at least all over the internet.
Yeah.
And
even the news would have said it.
No
one.
Fred Willard, congratulations. You're skating today, sir.
Oh, no, this detail just in. He's not skating. Gunman is Fred Willard. Holy shit. He wanted to get the heat off of him.
E. John X on Twitter, bravo. You're right, though.
That is exactly.
You are right.
Fred Willard.
For the most part, a fairly nice, livable suburb that you'd want to raise your kids in.
Yeah. What do you need to tell us, Kelly? What do you need to tell us about what happened last night?
It's just a shock. It's sad to see
Obviously,
that this sort of
it's
thing
a shock.
happens, not just here, but anywhere. It's sad for the victims, of course, but it's also sad for the entire community.
How much you want to bet? Because, humans do suck, that there's someone right now demanding their money back.
Oh,
They
you think?
skated. They didn't get. Yeah.
I didn't see the entire movie.
Right. What's the refund policy?
Yeah. Wow.
But will that affect? I mean, again, the movie itself is unimportant compared to this, but it's a huge event happening all over the country for the entire weekend. There's a lot. So how does it affect that?
They're going to see stepped up security.
Yeah,
they're going to do.
In every
they're
big city,
step up
certainly.
security for this movie now.
Certainly, New York, you'll see NYPD outside these theaters.
Yes.
If I talk for New York, that's about it.
Jesus.
It's like what a scumbag shoots a baby. Like what a. I mean, shooting adults is bad enough, but
it's crazy. This guy's a fucking
just a piece
of shite. Yes, just a fucking selfish.
Exactly.
Me. Look at me.
Little cunt of a man.
Oh man. Unbelievable.
Video of inside theater after shooting people, running out covered in blood. Everyone's throwing their videos up now on YouTube.
That must have just looked like fucking a war zone, definitely. Like, but there's now it's conflicting reports. Was he in the theater waiting, watching the movie, or did he kick the door in? Now, because how the fuck do you get in the theater with a rifle?
I think he probably kicked the door in. A gun planted. I don't know about that.
That's fucking weird.
Maybe, but if there's a gun planted, obviously he either worked there or he's a maintenance guy, or he did something where he had theater access.
Yeah.
Or he just went to that theater for another movie and taped a gun somewhere that he knew they wouldn't find right away. You know?
But if he kicked the door in during a shooting scene, that means he knew when the shooting scene was happening in the movie.
But he wouldn't need the shooting scene to do what he had to do.
Yeah.
Everyone's focused on the movie. Half hour in, you're really settled. You're settled in, and your eyes are just on that fucking screen.
Yep.
Unless he had to do it during the shooting scene, there was something about that too for him. I don't know.
I don't know. That sounds coincidental.
I think it might be a coincidence, though, right?
Yeah, it's an action movie. Damn.
People are just tuning in. Well, I mean, and they want to know what's going on. Well, there's a midnight showing of The Batman in Aurora, Colorado, and half hour into the movie, a gunman starts shooting.
Yeah,
let off some looks like tear gas, and so far 15 people are dead and at least 50 injured, I guess.
Yeah,
that's for the people that don't know still. Well, you wouldn't know if you were on MSNBC.
But in fact, it's a collective success of the whole society that somehow builds enterprises like this.
Comment back there. So why don't you now ask a leading question to Mark Halpern while I sit here and roll my eyes?
What is MSNBC trying to prove here? I don't understand.
I don't know.
I do think the news gets a bit tabloidish.
Sure.
But this is a story that just happened. It's breaking. Maybe you move on after a little while, but to just completely ignore it like they're doing, I don't understand.
They're a terrible.
What does Fox have Michael Bodden on for? That
was able to put his hand on the revolver and insert his thumb in such a way that the weapon didn't fire.
That's right.
A real hero guy.
Right, and what's diabolical about this particular situation, Doctor, is the fact that it sounds like what we're learning initially is the guy was down in the front. You got a theater with hundreds of people in there. The guy's down at the front. He stands up, turns around. He's got 3 guns, 2 handguns and a long gun. But the only way out is past him.
And the people might have thought, that's part of the show. You know, though the hype, that would be very confusing initially. You get a guy stand up, start shooting. Hey, is this part of the show or not? And so people hesitate. But the only other kind of thing.
That's why I don't think it's a coincidence he started doing it during the shooting. That's why, because if he timed it for the shooting, either he was waiting, but if he kicked the door in, you got to know when that's happening.
Maybe that was part of his sick mind.
Yeah, people just don't know when things are happening around them. And by the time you assess a situation like that,
a
lot of damage has already been done.
The white car again.
Surprised him or how it actually happened, but I know some of the first officers that, arrived within, I don't know if it was seconds, maximum a couple minutes, found him behind the theater at his car and took him into custody there.
Jeez.
So that is a little description from some of the eyewitnesses of what they saw inside that theater, which is really a theater complex, 16 theaters, many of them showing The Dark Knight Rising, which of course was packed because this has been a film that people have been anxiously awaiting.
Yeah.
Here's what we know about the shooter. His name has not been released by authorities at this point, but he's described as 24 years old. He's also described as wearing a bulletproof vest and being heavily armed. He was taken into custody, we're told, in the rear parking lot of the theater, although some eyewitnesses said, in fact, they thought that he was captured in the theater itself. The police say they took a shotgun and a rifle from him. They were able to recover another gun inside the theater. And he was, according to some witnesses, wearing goggles. Police confirmed that he had a gas mask as well. They have not confirmed the goggles part. Police say he did not put up a fight. There was no resistance. And additionally, he was able to tell them about explosives in his apartment building. Police said that at a press conference. And after that, they mobilized units to his apartment building. And there is a building that we've been monitoring that appears could be his, where it's now been surrounded and surrounded by law enforcement and ambulances as well. It does not believe, no one believes that there was a second shooter, although in their early morning press conference, police said that that was something that they would continue to actively monitor. 50 people were transported to area hospitals with injuries, some of those injuries very grave. I want to get to Nicole Williams. She's joining us by phone from Swedish Medical Center. She's an assistant vice president there. Nicole, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Tell me what's happening at your medical center right now.
Right now we have actually just received word that we are receiving a fourth patient. So currently we have a 19-year-old male who has been listed in fair condition. We have a 20-year-old male who is in critical, a 29-year-old female in critical, and we understand we have a 19-year-old female inbound. We are unclear for condition at this time.
So you have two in critical condition. You have one 19-year-old who seems that person is in better condition, and you're unclear of the person who's being transported to you at this time.
Correct.
Can you give me any details on those who are reported in critical condition? What kind of injuries do they have?
Gunshot wounds.
The three that we received immediately following the incident all came in with gunshot wounds. We're hearing rumors that the patient that's currently on their way in could have some shrapnel wounds. But again, I don't believe they've arrived yet. We have not been able to assess.
Yeah, well.
Just
horrible. We should take a break. We'll continue with this, certainly.
Selfish scumbag this guy is, man.
We got two things to do today. Continue with this and make sure that Fred Willard doesn't slide.
Yes.
For his naughty behavior.
Fred Willard's a very naughty old man.
I teased him on Twitter last night. I mean, I like Fred Willard.
Yeah.
And I realized he was following me. I'm like,
oh, no.
He was following you.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like I said he denied masturbating in the theater. He was just punching his cock for talking during the movie.
Very good.
I looked him up and I was, oh boy. Poor Fred Willard. He's 72. The fuck? What undercover cop is doing that?
Leave him alone.
How embarrassing.
Boy. Yeah, what a detail.
You really need to go into seedy adult theaters and bust people for jacking off? That's kind of strange. Seems like there's a lot of other things to worry about before that. And what do you, if you're in an adult theater watching fucking porn, you know, your first thought is maybe I got to get rid of some of this poison.
Yeah.
But who called the police? Is there like a new manager there who didn't know? Like, hey, let's go out of here!
Holy shit!
Well, I didn't expect this. This wasn't in my job detail. I actually might see guys jerking off in here.
What the fuck?
Fuck that!
It's an adult theater.
Yeah,
that's what people do in adult theaters.
A seedy. I mean, it's in a seedy part of town and everything, man.
Lots of reports said he was in the movie already, stood up for the first time Batman came on screen.
Is this Fred Willard?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I don't know.
He's shot in the theater, too.
I resisted that one. I thought
did
it
you?
was,
Okay, thanks.
No, on Twitter.
Thanks for leaving it for me. No, I know. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Jiminy Cricket.
And then someone says, can it be argued that MSNBC shouldn't cover it because others are? No, you're not supposed to think. If you're a 24-hour news network, you're not supposed to think of the competition. You should just, as a responsible news network, it's a real story. This is not a tabloid hunk of shit. It's not voyeurism when it's actually an unfolding story.
Well, But I mean, if you're running a news organization, technically they're not really, pure news organizations. You need.
Aren't they or no?
I don't think so. They're all slanted and shit. I think you want ratings.
Yeah.
And I think you think about ratings big time, and to not cover the story, it's just stupid on MSNBC's part.
Yeah.
Completely stupid. I guarantee their numbers are dropping drastically this morning because they're not doing a lot on it. They're doing a little bit on it right now, a little bit.
Well, they're showing the president Obama's statement on it, of course. Which, again, I guess that is news.
Yeah, that's fine. But then they'll move on to other shit. I mean, Fox and CNN, I'm not playing favorites here, trust me. They still haven't gone to commercial. It's just around the clock coverage of
before
this.
opening fire. He is now in police custody.
The President of the United States, who is traveling to Florida right now, overnighting in Palm Beach this morning, was notified of the shooting by Homeland Security Advisor John Brennan at 5:26 a.m. Eastern this morning. He then released this president. The president says, "Michelle and I are shocked and saddened by the horrific and tragic shooting in Colorado. Federal and local law enforcement are still responding, and my administration will do everything that we can to support the people of Aurora in this extraordinarily difficult time. We are committed to bringing whomever was responsible to justice, ensuring the safety of our people, and caring for those who have been wounded."
Statements just suck.
Statements are insincere.
It's just so dumb. Of course all that's going to happen.
Yes.
Of course. Just dumb. No one can speak from the heart.
No.
I'm sure he had to go over with his people. All right, well, let's be careful about this statement. Make sure everything is perfect in here.
Word it properly. Let's not
Here's the first draft. Well, I don't know. Let's rewrite this a little bit. Let's change this word a little bit.
Sounds a little rash.
Right.
We don't want to alarm people.
I hate statements.
They're terrible.
Stink.
You know what people are pointing out, though, which is a good point, and one of you guys might have said this already, that the fucking fire doors open out. You can't kick them in from the outside. They open outward. So obviously it couldn't have been kicked in unless somebody had propped it open or they stood up in the theater and kicked it to leave.
Well, that's true. Maybe they kicked it open to leave.
I'm guessing that it's a theater employee or someone who has access to that theater.
Yeah.
I could be completely, obviously wrong, but...
Yeah, maybe.
Now they're outside his apartment.
That's his apartment.
Oh, wow.
Let's see what this is all about.
Indication that the individual involved was driving a car with Tennessee plates, and so anything that needs to be conducted, any investigation out of state that can be conducted for the Aurora PD will be done in an expeditious manner by the Bureau. The Bureau will put any expertise that they may request. Will guarantee that they'll have that assistance. In terms of the other things they have to do is probably working together with ATF, looking at the origin of the weapons and where that gas. There's some indication now that perhaps it was a tear gas canister that went off. So this individual had access to arms, to ammunition, to other sources of chaos. So it's a confusing issue right now, which will be kind of ironed out. But what can we do to protect there? It's a terrible situation, and we can't walk down the country. You can have some indicators. You can look at the way people are. But, when you have a movie like this with such hype with Batman, people do things. They come to movies in costume and stuff like that. So you don't really know who these people are. And, that may be one thing.
I guarantee that's going to stop.
Oh, boy.
They can at least, control that a little bit.
We're a very knee-jerky country.
I guarantee you're not going to be able to wear a costume or a mask into a movie theater anymore.
Yep.
A lot of people have had fun with that over the years, but that'll be the first thing that stops.
Jeez. Well, I'm not gonna be
kind of attack. The determination should be made very quickly whether or not this was a lone gunman who potentially is mentally disturbed or whether or not he belongs to a larger group.
Loner.
Tony Roman.
I agree.
Keep going, Tony.
I'm going loner.
Selfish cocksucker. Didn't resist, didn't shoot himself in the head, so he probably wants to be caught and heard. He's the Dark Knight. That's what this guy is. If he stood up when Batman came on screen, this little fucking cunt is just one of those loner piece of shit that nobody liked because he has nothing to offer. He should have just shot himself in the head.
Yes.
He didn't have the moral courage to do that. So he's the Dark Knight. He probably thinks he relates to Batman Rising and.
I
what
think
a fucking twerp.
I think he thinks he's the villain there.
Well, yeah, but if he stood up when Batman came out,
yeah,
it's just
well, we'll see.
Just a fucking twerp.
Ugh. God.
And does MSNBC, like, again, I know it's a business, but the fact that they're showing these commercials, can you guys just cover the fucking story?
Yeah.
And again, I hate when news stories overdo, like news networks overdo the coverage, because it becomes a point where you're just like a fucking shill. But it really is unfolding, and new footage is coming out every fucking 2 minutes. It's one of those things where it's legit.
Right. It's really fresh. MSNBC is just doing a quick headline about it.
And CNN and Fox are both doing it. It's not about politics, you dumbbells.
No.
It's CNN and Fox are both doing the right thing.
And we usually don't watch them, but I'm sure the Today Show and all that is pretty much around the...
You'd hope so, yeah.
Around the hour coverage or whatever.
You know how many comedians...
I would imagine.
You know how many comedians right now are being canceled across the country on these morning news shows?
Oh,
Like they have like their local gigs to plug because it's a Friday, and that's the day you do them.
Right.
They're all getting bummed.
Yep.
Not that it matters, but that's what's happening.
Of course.
In the comic world.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Ann Romney, we've given you people all you need to know. They're focusing on that right at this moment.
Yep.
It sure is a story, but it could wait.
Yeah, Ann Romney.
Could wait.
Please.
All that shit could wait. Jesus. Want to take a break and we'll continue with this stuff?
Do that.
Maybe listen to the police scanner a little bit.
Oh yeah.
That police scanner stuff is really. I could listen to that all morning.
I listened to it at night.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
And that was like me playing porn right now. Yeah, playing that.
Yeah, like ooh, what's going on?
People are telling me my headshot was in Louis last night. I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah,
but that's the entrance to the... I saw the photo, but I didn't see the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the entrance to the Comedy Cellar. That's when you walk into the cellar.
Yeah, they're talking. Louis talking with somebody. And
Not
right
somebody,
in between
Bamford.
them. Yeah.
Oh, was that Maria Bamford?
Yeah, I saw that episode, and they're having a moment, and you're right in the middle of them. Your headshot.
And Geraldo's is right above me. I saw the photo.
Yes. Yep. I meant to tell you that. I saw that. Whatever. Another great episode of Louis.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we eat something?
All right.
Let's go make love.
Sirius XM.